Today, we're going to be going over the top 5 strongest pets in Prodigy. These 5 pets are almost guaranteed to help you win more wizard battles because they are some of the strongest in the game. Right before we head straight into the pets, go down below and subscribe to my channel. And anyway, we're going to head straight into the video. Now, we're going to start off with number 5 on the list right away. I am giving the number 5 spot to Shiver and Scorch. Shiver and Scorch is the updated version of Chill and Char, and when they got updated, dang, they just got so much stronger. Starting off, they are legendary, which is important, and they have some amazing stats. Before we go further, let me describe what is a strong pet. A strong pet has to, number 1, have a good amount of power. Number 2, it's got to have good defense. It's got to have a good amount of health. Those are all very important factors. So let's take a look at Shiver and Scorch in those categories. So starting off with Shiver and Scorch, you are going to get 800 power, probably some of the most power you are going to get in literally the entire game, but they don't really lack in other departments. They do have 640 health, they do have almost 500 defense, which is very, very good. The only reason Shiver and Scorch is not higher on my list is it is a water element. And just based on Prodigy, water element is not one of the strongest elements. Now, let's say Shiver and Scorch happen to be fire. Oh my gosh, they would probably be number 1 at this list, but unfortunately, Gay gave the power to the dude in blue, not the dude in red, meaning yes, it is water element. Now, I'm pretty sure it most likely has fire spells, but you want to be a fire element if we're talking about a strong pet. One more thing I wanted to add, if you're making it on my list of strong pets, you have to look fierce. I'm not taking any pets that don't look scary. That simply is not going to be considered for a very, very strong pet. Following that up, we're moving on to number 4 on the list, and number 4 maybe might surprise a few of you, but in my opinion, yes, this is one of the top 5 strongest pets in Prodigy. We're giving that spot to Luminex. Now, Luminex is common, and as you guys are going to see, if it was legendary or even rare, it probably would top this list with Shiver and Scorch, but unfortunately, it is common. Now, number 1, its power is out of this world. It's almost better than Shiver and Scorch, but it is slightly lower. Now, what it is better in is health and speed. It does have better speed, and I'm fairly sure it does have better health. Also, its element is physical. I would prefer a physical elements pet rather than a water element, just because you're going to be able to fight main wizards just a little bit better. Now, Luminex is one of those pets that comes from an evolution. If I scroll down, as you can see, you have Lumoint and Luminite, so you get that extra bonus of your opponent knowing, yes, this pet is evolved all the way, giving it an extra strong look. And of course, I don't want to do it, but you have to take into account the looks when you're talking about strong pets. Luminex is probably one of the scariest looking pets in the entire game. It's definitely helping his position on this list, because I mean, look at this guy. Who wants to go up against this wolf werewolf dude that has all these absolutely overpowered stats? Like I mentioned, well, if Luminex was fire, oh my gosh, him and Shiver and Scorch would be fighting for that number 1 spot, but it is physical, so we are going to have to dock his rankings just a little bit. Now, we went over number 5, we went over number 4, now we're getting serious, we're entering the top 3, and if I'm being honest, you could probably go either way with these top 3 pets. All 3 pets are extremely overpowered, all 3 are probably going to win you a bunch of battles. It just depends on the situation that you're in and kind of who you're battling. Now, I'm giving the number 3 spot to Arcturion. Now, Arcturion is a little different in that its power is nowhere near the level of Shiver and Scorch and Luminex. Its power is only 490 when we saw the other pets have 780 and almost 800. So yes, power it is lacking. What does it make up for in health? This dude has almost 1,000 health. So this dude gets strength, and it's kind of almost like a tank pet. It is just going to be able to tank spells, and you know what, it doesn't do the most power, but sometimes just the fact that this dude is going to be able to survive so long in battles is going to help you out a lot. Now let's take a look at some of the other stats. Of course, it is a mythical epic, which is going to make it shoot up our rankings a little bit more. It's legendary, it has 420 speed, 490 power, 490 defense. Its element is physical, so similarly to Luminex, it is physical, which is going to be better than something like water or even something better than leaf or storm. but it is not that cream of the crop element like fire that we love to see. That is going to be reserved for the top 2 pets on this list. So yes, I would say if this dude was fire, guaranteed he'd probably be top 2, but he is physical, so we're gonna have to dock him a bit. But like I mentioned, he is health at almost 1,000. Like, you're not gonna get a lot of other pets that give you that much health to work with. Now, we're moving on to the top 2 pets in Prodigy. This is where things get very, very serious. Like, these 2 pets arguably are the 2 best pets in the entire game. Yeah, you cannot really go wrong with these pets. They are gonna give you absolutely good battles day in and day out. So we're just gonna bring them up and talk about them. Number 2 on the list, I hate to say it, it's Magmischief. Magmischief is not one of the most exciting epics. Let's be honest, Shiver and Scorch probably looks more fierce, Luminex looks more fierce, but it has that wonderful fire element that we love. And when we're talking about power, oh my gosh, Magmischief is absolutely insane. Before we take a closer look at his stats, I want to point out, yes, this dude is an epic and one of the original epics, which helps it out a lot. I prefer pets that are original epics, they're just a little more rare. Now let's take a look at his stats. Element Fire, like we mentioned, absolutely perfect. We love to see that. 620 health, 460 speed, 810 power. That is the highest amount of power we have seen in this entire video. I mean, that is just absurd. He is going to help you out in so many battles. Like, it's almost just unfair. His defense is 470, so that's probably one of the slightly lower scores we've seen. But when you're fire and you have 810 power, I don't know how you could honestly go wrong. Like, there's no way to go wrong with this pet. Now, like I said, 1, he is an epic. 2, you can choose this dude as a buddy. I guess that gives it a little extra bling, you know, it doesn't really affect it in battles, but we're talking about strongest pets. I guess if you have it as a buddy, it can intimidate some of your opponents a little bit, but all of that does not matter. We're mostly focusing on the stats, and Magmischief is just absolutely insane in the stats department. Now, that leaves us with one more pet, the strongest pet in a Prodigy. Really quickly, just give some honorable mentions. I gotta give an honorable mention to Chill and Char. It's the original version of Shiver and Scorch, which you did have in this video. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Magmayhem, which is the updated version of Magmischief. I don't know, I've always just slightly preferred Magmischief to Magmayhem when we're talking about strength. And finally, I've gotten hate in the comments before for this pet, but I feel like Hot Pot is very, very strong. I don't know if I can find it in my list. Yeah, here's Hot Pot. I mean, his element's fire. He's got some pretty decent defense, so he's not going to make this list, but if you need him in a crunch, yeah, use Hot Pot. He's very, very good. But undoubtedly, the number 1 strongest pet is Pterosaur. It used to be fire. It's now physical. But guys, that doesn't even matter. Just look at this dude's stats. He does have other fire spells you can use, so that helps him out. I don't care if his main element isn't fire. He's got to be number 1 on this list. Comment down below what you think. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.